This mirror is made of plastic trash from beach cleanups, and she's the amazing artist behind the creations.
I wanted a piece that I could look at every day and bring joy and help me see the impact we can make.
Tizedes is an artist and environmental activist who began making colorful art from trash she collected from the Great Lakes in Michigan. Over the years, she's collected thousands of pieces of plastic from beach cleanups.
This is a bunch of plastic that I've collected over the years. As you can see, it's the rainbow of plastic pollution.
From all that trash, she's created art installations in museums, commissioned mosaic mirrors, and even photography prints.
I was just, on my living room floor creating art with plastic. I started sharing it online and it started gaining traction, people being like, wow, this is an I Spy kind of game with all these colorful pieces of plastic.
Although she started the project as a fun hobby during college, it's now evolved into an Instagram following and a nonprofit that organizes citywide cleanups in a pink pickup truck.
This is Cutie the cleanup truck. She's a tiny little low emission Japanese truck. She's pink.
The Cleanup Club hosts cleanups throughout Michigan to educate communities on the Great Lakes plastic pollution, all while having fun.
Cleanups can happen anywhere, anytime, and I think that's the beauty of something so tangible. You can go outside and pick up a water bottle, toss it in the recycle bin. You can get involved anywhere, but I think there's power in sharing the things we're finding also because it can lead to greater impact.
In one of the most recent cleanups, they collected more than 10,000 pieces, which were all categorized and inputted into a database. But that's just a tiny portion of the 22 million pounds of plastic a year that end up in the Great Lakes alone.
Nobody's talking about it. We all talk about ocean pollution, which is of course super important, but the Great Lakes are our largest freshwater resource. So I created the Cleanup Club really to focus on that and to share with people what's washing up on the beaches and how we can all make this collective impact together.
And that's where Hannah's art helps engage the community. She's been doing a lot more work with kids by having them put together colorful jars filled with plastic, then creating mosaics or other temporary art with them.
We'll make these art pieces, take photos, share them online, but then at the end of the day, we'll put it all back and store it for another art workshop. So it's not ending up in a landfill potentially later in life, but it gets to kind of have this temporary, meaningful happening.
Hannah's ultimate goal is not only to educate children with her art, but to also use that data collected to help push forward policy. Much like how plastic bags were banned, she'd like to get rid of styrofoam and other harmful plastics that contaminate the Great Lakes and surrounding communities.
Politicians and things are like, wow, this is super important to bring with us at certain testimony. So I think that's where the art can come in to play an even bigger impact. And it's cool to see people realizing that and getting on board with us.
Hannah will continue hosting cleanups and creating art, but her mirrors are mostly a thing she does when commissioned. She'll thrift mirrors and make the frames from scrap wood she collects from her dad, who is an architect. But ultimately, her goal is to work more with schools and kids.
I'm really passionate about education and bringing art and science kind of together to explore plastic pollution and the impacts of plastic pollution on our wildlife, on the spaces that these kids enjoy. I mean, one person can do so much, but together we can do a whole lot of good.
We'd like to thank Corona for sponsoring this episode. Corona partnered with Oceanic Global to help protect our beaches nationwide. Together, they're on a mission to remove 1 million pounds of plastic from the beach and the Corona business by 2025. To learn more, visit www.coronausa.com.